right, all right. Welcome back to the JefeTalk podcast. It is your host, Jefe. I am super excited. I'm not even going to share with you guys the original story of kind of what happened, but I'm super happy for this week. I have a special guest. Many of you have been inquiring and asking for her to come back. She goes by the name of Sunny. How you doing today?
Hi. Oh
Yeah,
wait, that's nice.
yeah. I add a little sound effects. I had to make up for that. But welcome. How you doing?
I am doing great. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I'm super happy you are back. I think it's been going on 2 years since our first
Yeah.
podcast together, but it was a great time because during that time I think that's when COVID really started taking off. So people were just trying to gravitate to some other sources of entertainment, conversations, and I'm super happy for you being one of my first guests when I started the podcast. Thank you.
Of
Of
course.
course. Yeah, so today I got a special topic. As everybody know, we got a lot of things going on in the economy, from the finances, from scares on the health side. But what I wanted to kind of tap in today is the mindset. And that's the point of today's title. Do not put your mind in a recession. And what I mean by do not put your mind in a recession is that, hey, everything else can probably be stagnant or it might be a lot of ups and downs, but are we being militant to the game plan? Are we staying focused to where we need to be in life? And we can't allow ourselves to get in a slump. So I couldn't think of anybody else better but to bring Sunny on, who is just full of energy, full of life, and just got a lot of things going on her plate, but she still manages to execute at a high level, which is one of the biggest reasons why I want to bring her on. So, Sunny, if you can, maybe kind of give us a little quick background about yourself for our new listeners, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, so I was a radio host here at PGC, WPGC 95.5 DC from 2011 to 2021. So 10 years. I did middays and I did morning show. I
Mm.
did radio in Miami before that, and then I grew up in Detroit, so that's where I did radio
Ah,
high school.
so you was in Miami too?
Only for like 8 months.
Ah, okay.
I worked for Power 96.5 in Miami, it was cute.
Yeah. Got you.
And yeah, I transitioned over to Fox 5 last year more.
Yeah.
I've been on Fox for many years, and then also I'm doing my real estate thing now.
Yes,
So,
that's right. And that was
yeah.
another accolade to add to your belt. I mean, and also again, your book came out last year or a year and a half ago?
My book came out in 2019.
Okay, tell people where they
Mhm.
can get that, of course. You gotta plug that
It's on
in.
Amazon. It's
Yeah.
called, From Refugee to Radio,
Yeah. Great, impactful,
and
amazing
yeah,
story.
it just, it talks about my life from growing up in a Bosnian war, living through 3 refugee camps, coming to United States, and then, just, like, the struggles of being in the entertainment industry and coming up, so,
Really
yeah.
impactful. So make sure everybody, you guys go out and get that and support Sunny.
Thank you.
So to kind of shift gears a little bit, today's topic is about do not put your mind in a recession. And I mean, you just named several different things you got going on in your life, got a lot of things in a mix. So my biggest question to you is considering your 9 to 5, how are you able to stay motivated and to kind of venture out into maybe real estate and do other things like writing a book? What kind of things you need to, or what do you fuel yourself up with to be able to accomplish things like that, considering your normal 9 to 5 as well?
Well, I don't have a 9 to 5.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Let me clarify that. Okay.
I mean, when I was in radio, I consider that my 9 to 5.
Okay.
It's something where I had to get up and be there at 10 a.m. or 6 a.m. I'm actually putting the hours. So that was like a constant in my life.
Mm,
But I think with anything, just as a person, as a human, we all have so many interests and hobbies. And I think that we have to, especially in today's world, figure out something that we love and make money from it.
exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
it's just that simple. So many people have so many interests and are very good at a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And I'm not the person to tell you to quit your 9 to 5 and,
Yep.
like, follow your dreams.
That is true. That is
I
true.
am not the person to tell you that because I kinda did something like that, But for me, I always say I had no kids, no pets, no plants.
Okay,
I only
okay.
had to keep myself alive.
I like that. That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt. I might take that from you. No.
Yeah, it was like no matter what, it was just me.
Yeah,
So if I have to live off of $5 a day and take a shower at a local gym,
that's what I'm talking about.
like, it's just me. So I think you have to consider your circumstance, so and then figure out a way how to still move and make your dreams come true.
Absolutely. And you kind of pressed on some really good points. I mean, you have to consider your circumstances. The full blast entrepreneur life is not for everyone.
Oh.
And I try to tell people, of course, here at this brand, JefeTalk, we promote being more boss minded and taking action. But a lot of times, we can't always just go 100% and kind of let everything die out. We got to kind of find that balance. So, for you in your situation, hey, you didn't have anything holding you back. Sunny was able to go 1,000 miles per an hour. So I think the biggest thing to take away also with that is kind of analyze your situation and find those areas and gaps where you can probably pursue different things and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Okay. So what shifted you into the real estate world? What, considering where the market is now, and maybe you can put some clarity to that because a lot of people are kind of on thin ice trying to figure out should they move forward or not. Number one, what pushed you in that direction to kind of tell us how started going in that field, and also the state of real estate right now. Is it okay for people to buy?
Yeah. Well, I got my license in 2016
Oh, you had it for a
and
minute.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I never did anything with it.
Okay, okay.
I I remember it was 2015 and we used to be CBS Radio
Ah,
and
getting a
we
little
got bought
history
out.
lesson.
I
Okay,
know.
okay.
And the company got bought out by Entercom. And I just remember all of my journalist friends were texting me like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on? What's going to happen with you guys?"
Yeah.
And it honestly terrified me because
Mm,
I realized at that moment, I'm like, okay, you've been here for like 5 years.
yeah.
You have nothing outside of radio.
That's a huge sometimes wake up call, right?
Yes.
Sometimes it just hits you out of nowhere. Yeah.
I was like, if I lose the job today, what am
Mm,
I going to do?
yeah.
And I had always been just interested in like houses. I used to go to open houses and just, I was like, maybe I should get my real estate license.
Yeah.
And then I got it. But then after that, things just got busy and nothing really happened in my radio life as far as like everything actually heightened. Like I got the morning show
Interesting.
job and
Yeah.
things got better.
You
And
know,
that was basically it.
Yeah, and you know what I do notice, right? And these are little I pick up little things, right? As you talk about your journey, right? I can feel your excitement, right? I could feel just kind of where you were at that point, and I always kind of see you reverting back to smiling, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that because I was talking to a colleague of mine about just always having an optimistic attitude, always having
Mhm.
some type of positivity about no matter where you at, right? So even if you're like, wait a minute, I only have this one position, what if that goes away? What am I gonna do? What you did, you thought about something else and you just executed on it, right?
Yeah.
But the key is timing. A lot of people kind of struggle with like, okay, I have this, but I'm not where I want to be sometimes. And I think you hit the nail on the head is you got to just feel it. You gotta just feel it, wake up one day and just do it. Sometimes it's not always going to be a direct timeline of where you want to go. So I think
Yeah.
that's super dope that, you kind of, explored your options and it's doing really well for you now. So everybody make sure you guys look her up. If you're looking at where you are licensed at, what states?
I'm in DC, Maryland, and Virginia.
Okay. All right. So we got
Yeah.
to plug that in. Definitely show Sunny some love on that side. Now, as far as the market, right? So I'm in finance as well. Giving people as much information I can about where everything going with the interest rates. How's it looking on the real estate side? Is it a good time to buy or, where are we at with that?
Well, I'll just give you a quick rundown, I guess.
Okay.
I
Okay.
should say. What we had were these really historic low rates for the past few years, right? So what that
Hmm.
created was this insane amount of buyers.
Yeah.
People were just like, I have to buy,
Everybody.
I have to buy. And basically you would have like 20 buyers fighting over a property, which, you know, they might be getting for a low rate, but they're gonna end up paying like 50 grand, 100 grand
Yeah. It
over
was
asking.
ridiculous. I literally had to pull
Exactly.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so what happened was now that the rates are back to normal,
Okay. Okay. So it is back to normal.
this is normal.
You know what? That's right. I read an article. Our grandparents or something like they was paying like almost 15, 20% like on the
Yeah.
interest side. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? So we
Like
kind of
2 point
privileged.
like 2.7 and 3.5, like that's not normal.
It's
Those
not.
were
It's not.
historic low.
Yeah.
That's why it was this frenzy. And now that they're back to normal, you have people who are serious buyers,
Hmm.
who are going to actually be able to purchase the house because they're not gonna be fighting 10 other people.
Correct.
They're not gonna be paying over asking.
Hmm.
They're not gonna have to skip inspection and all these things before they couldn't even mention
Yeah, that's
because
right.
the
Yeah.
seller would be like, "No, I got a cash offer, no questions asked." So
Exactly.
now it is becoming a buyer's market where they
Mm.
actually have a chance to really get so much for their
Yeah.
buck, despite having an interest rate being a little bit more.
That, and I kind of just to tie that in, and I think that's really good to know. I mean, for my listeners out there, you have to reach out to professionals,
Yeah.
right? A lot of us will be so infused with social media and television, right? And might not have the full picture. Yet we're here talking to someone in the industry telling you, hey, these prices and these interest rate are really not that bad considering where we were 10, 15, 20 years ago.
And it's crazy because everyone's talking about like this, it's gonna be 2008 bursting
Oh my,
bubble housing market. You know, you have to know that what happened in 2008,
big
you know,
difference.
anybody could have got a loan then.
Right?
Now, like the lending institutions, they are still very thorough
Very thorough.
and they're not skipping anything. So
Mm.
we might be, I mean, I'm not a financial expert as far as like recession. We know that inflation's happening, but as far as the housing market, it's looking more like a buyer's market.
That's great to hear. So for the mindset, which is really important, and that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about that because that ties into are we keeping our mind engaged on the right things? Are we staying focused, right? Considering all the hoopla about recession this and recession that, are we actually going out to get the right information? Right. Let's not feed ourselves everything surface level. We might have to go second and third level and ask the right people for those questions. So I appreciate that. So as we're kind of shifting into another direction, we want to talk about the mindset, right? I wanted to kind of see if you can share with everybody some of the mental challenges you had. Maybe I'm just trying to figure things out right on your journey and your success. Kind of how did you overcome that? I was talking to one of my friends the other day and she literally had a mental breakdown on the phone with me, right? And she was trying to figure out, she's an entrepreneur, she has 50 million things going on. And for her, she feels like she's tired. She wish people would just come to her versus she has to hustle and bustle every single day. And that itself is ideally what we all want. But I wanted to kind of hear your take on when you feel like you have so much on your plate, how are you able to mentally balance that for you to execute at a high level?
Yeah. Honestly, I long time ago decided that I'm not just gonna do a whole lot of stuff
Hmm.
and end up half-assing all of it.
I love that. I
Like
love
I
that.
had to really pick a couple of things that I like to do
Yep.
that made me happy and then just do that. I think that we all love being on social media and saying we're always so busy and
Tell me
we
about it. Yeah.
have, all these, things listed in our bio.
But
And
are you good at it?
right, at the end of the day, you're like literally half-assing a whole bunch of shit. Like
That's a
none of it
fact.
matters.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
And I was just like, okay, I can't. I have to figure out just one or two roads that I really like to go down on
Hmm.
and be really good at that.
I like
And
that.
not to say that I didn't have any uh, you know, breakdowns or
It happens.
just it happens and just even being unsure and scared
Hmm.
of different directions, but I just felt like if I don't do it, then how will I know?
That's a good
Like,
point.
I mean, time's gonna move regardless.
And
So a
that's
year
me.
from now, I can be like, "Oh my god, I'm already a year in," or I could be like, "Oh my gosh, I should have started last
I should
year."
have started last year.
So it's just kind of like, I mean, just do it.
You damn if you do, you damn if you don't. But I rather do to know I did it, right? Versus,
And you may
I'm still
fail, and that's fine.
correct. Correct. And that ties in everybody. I mean, the slogan with Hefe Talk, right? Act, think, live. I strategically put act before think because I know several people, including myself in the past, I used to overthink things. And before you know it, you got 1, 2, 3 years going by. Nothing is accomplished. So sometimes we have to go full force. Be okay to fail, like Sunny said. Be okay to embrace that failure so that way we can pick back up, tweak what we did, kind of adjust it, and keep moving forward. So that's really, really important. So I love that because on a mental state side, again, it's okay to ask for help. Reach out to friends, reach out to people. We see a lot of crazy things, especially on social media, what people are going through mentally. So even as we go through the so-called recession, or even if we are in one, make sure you're communicating with people. And that's exactly why we're here to kind of talk about this conversation and having the right mindset. So
Yeah.
one of the biggest questions I did have for you was the misconceptions people have about you, right? And the reason why I'm bringing that up is, again, you're always smiles, which is good. Nobody's complaining. But what probably the things that people don't know about you that can probably motivate and help other people, and maybe why you have a smile all the time and stuff like that?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question.
Thank you. Thank you. I was working on these.
Honestly, even myself,
Hmm.
I want people everything that they see to
Yeah.
take with a grain of salt. Because at the end of the day, I think we all put our best foot forward, especially when it comes to having a public job and being in front of it, for me now, a TV screen and being
Mm.
on Fox and being introduced to a whole new audience. And right. Because I was a
How's that
little
working out
scared.
for you?
It's amazing. It's amazing. DC is very like DC, Maryland, Virginia are amazing.
That's
Because at
good. That's
first I was
good.
like,
Whoa.
can
Back
I
up.
be on here? Like, is it okay?
Yeah.
And I think when people meet me, they always say that. They're like, "Oh my god, you're just so nice all the time, and you're just so happy." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what you see."
Yeah.
But
There's a story
there's
behind that.
there's always a story behind it, and I think that I am a social loner.
Mm.
I spend so much time alone,
Yeah.
and but people don't know that, and they
Yeah.
think because they're like, "Oh my god, you're
I
everywhere,
can
you're
attest to that. I
traveling."
can attest to that. I'm the most anti-social social person you know.
Yeah.
Right. So I can attest to that.
A part of me is like happy that we can still wear masks at the grocery store and at the
Yeah.
airport. Like
Yep.
I feel for me, it's like a some type of not even from a public, but just like mentally,
Yeah.
it's like some type of protection and safety. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
No, it's a safeguard sometimes too,
Yeah.
because you're always in the limelight for the most part from work and business and customers. Sometimes that's kind of your way of just being yourself alone, right? Even though you're in
Yeah.
public. So I get it. I get it.
Yeah. But I don't know about like a misconception, but they always ask me, oh, they're just like, oh my God, you're so nice. I'm like, I
Mm.
mean, I am very sweet. Like
You are nice
my
because you're
friends, my friends used to be like, "Oh my god, stop talking to strangers." Because I remember when I used to like host all the clubs and stuff,
Yes. Yep.
and I would just invite everyone to my table, and my friends would be like, "Stop inviting people you don't know over here. We don't know them."
Yeah. So that's super
Yeah.
dope. So let me ask you, do you have a team or are you kind of like self-propelled with all these different avenues and ventures? Like, do you have an assistant? Like, how are you
I have
moving?
never. It's
You
just
just
me.
making it work.
I have never had an assistant. I have never had a manager. I have never. I mean, it's just me.
Yeah. And so what would you say to people that struggle with that? And I tell people some people might need planners, some people might need
Mhm.
some type of structure. And I think what I wanted to clear up today is the whole kind of idea also on the entrepreneur concept. It's not always going to be this particular way of doing things.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need help. Entrepreneur does not mean you run face forward into a wall by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you might need a team or people to kind of keep you on point. Like, even like you said, your friends, sometimes your friends got to put you on point. Like, hey,
Yeah.
Sonny, relax. Like, we
Yeah.
got you. So I get it.
I mean, honestly, just do whatever works for you. I am
Yeah.
just very organized people that know me, I am obsessed with just calendars and schedules and having everything on time.
Okay,
So
okay.
I don't worry about things like that.
So
Some people aren't like that.
tap into that real quick. You said calendars and schedules, and I was talking to somebody else about this. And it sounds so simple, but it can be really effective. Like I live by my outlook, right? At this point in my life, before I used to wake up and be like, I'll figure it out. But
Yeah.
how does planning and how does things like that help you out when it comes down to scheduling? How does that help you on a day to day?
Okay, so I will tell you this. I noticed this about myself. I am someone who loves instant gratification, right? So, like, I like to see things. This is why I can't, like, I redid my whole house myself.
Yeah.
No, I
Okay.
did. I
Okay.
like took apart my kitchen
Wow. Oh, you
and
serious? Okay.
like sanded and painted my cabinets and put them back together.
Wow.
But I was in a rush because I wanted to see the result. Like, I need to see
Mm.
the results of my
Yeah.
action.
Yeah.
So I love cleaning. I love doing laundry. Like, it gives me, like, a beginning and an end that I can see.
Mm.
And so I work like that with my to-do list. I literally write it down
There we
on
go.
paper,
Write it down on paper.
and I enjoy crossing things off. Like, it makes me feel fulfilled by
Mm.
the end of the day to have my list crossed off.
I like
It's
that.
like
I
a
like
thing.
that. Yeah, I'm a huge advocate of at least writing things down so you can see it.
Yes.
And once you see that you accomplished it, it literally is a pat on the back right there, right? You don't need somebody to tell you did it,
Mhm.
right? And so I think that's really great, especially when we talk about just keeping your mind on an ongoing mission, right? Success is not always the big prize, it's the daily progression.
Yeah.
Success is always about the daily progression. So even if you guys got to just write things out sometimes and just execute it, close everybody else out and just knock it out, that's a huge win. That can
Yeah.
always put you forward.
There's something, like, old school about it.
Yeah.
Just having a regular to-do list. When is the
Hmm.
last time you actually wrote out a paragraph?
You know
You
what?
type.
Yeah. Mostly we type.
When is the last time you actually wrote a letter? And
That's
so
true.
now I'm
When the last
literally
time I
writing.
mailed a letter? Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, when's actually you sat down and you wrote out something for a while? And I now actually, like, write things down every day, and it makes me feel really good.
Mm. I like
Yeah.
that. And that's part of also what I do, at least with my affirmations and kind of where I want to see myself out. I did another segment on seeing yourself where you want to be and talk from that state,
Mhm.
right? Talk of that feeling. What does it feel like? And write it out. Talk as if it already happened. And that did wonders for me over the last several years on learning how to just be in a state where you want to be. And I think that also helps and copes whenever you're dealing with stuff on a day to day because you're focusing on a now. You're focusing
Yeah.
on what life is being thrown at you left and right versus let's just take 10, 15 minutes out and start writing things out of where we want to be and how does that feel.
Mhm.
So I love the fact that that is part of your repertoire because it answers a lot of questions. So that's super dope. So as we almost finish up here, why don't you share maybe kind of your thoughts on the struggling part that most people have on just not feeling motivated, right? I know sometimes we could say, hey, do something you love, right? But
Mhm.
what do you do? What do people do when they feel just exhausted? Like, do they need a timeout? Do they need to take a vacation? How do we focus on the motivation to keep forward in today's economy?
Well, I think I could really just speak for myself. I think for me, I've always had a very great connection with God and my faith.
Mm,
So whatever that means for you,
have an
and
outlet. Yeah.
however you pray and who you pray to and how you connect to the world and the spirits and
Yeah.
is up to you. But I think just having faith in really believing that you know how they say nothing good lasts forever and nothing
Correct.
bad lasts forever.
That's true. Yin
And
and
that's
yang,
basic.
balance.
It's just how it is and it's life. But I do think that even us sitting here, I think we all watching should feel more grateful for the
Mm,
things we already have.
that's a
I
good
think we get
point.
so discouraged. I know we're like on social media and we see all these people and they're younger than us and they have all these things. And it's so funny because to me, I don't ever look at it like that. I literally see beautiful pictures and people are married and all. I'm like, oh my God, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Congratulations. But I never think like, oh my gosh, why isn't that me? I'm literally like, I have no idea what's happening with them. They could have taken
Right?
that picture
That
and got into
picture
a huge fight.
picture's worth 1,000 words and also 1,000 words that's not talked about.
Yes. And I think we just have to be more mindful and see the world from a perspective of you can be happy for other people
Mm,
and whatever path they're on and believe truly that great things will happen to you.
I love
You
that.
just
You
it's like
have to.
floating. You just I
You
can't
just have
explain
to.
it.
At this
Yes,
point, you just got to say you have to.
you have to.
Right?
To
I
me,
think we
it's like
leave. Yeah.
floating in my whatever this is. Like you get into this really beautiful place
Yeah.
where you just appreciate all these amazing things to happen to other people. And your mindset cannot be, oh my God, what's this happening to me?
Correct.
It
Correct.
has to be, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful.
Mm.
Great things will happen to me.
There we
If it's
go.
meant to be, it will be.
There you go. And speak it. And
Yeah.
that's really, really a great perspective because sometimes, like you said, we get so caught up on the bad things. Why this? Why that? Versus just giving thanks. Right. I always tell people life is about selflessness. Right. It's not even about us half of the time. It's about the people we impact and who we're around. So when you
Mhm.
start seeing things and it's not probably where you're at that moment, you inspired to be that by giving thanks and just putting out that positive energy to attract that energy back to you.
Yeah.
But it has to be genuine, right? I don't want no
Yeah.
fake congratulations from people, right? I want you guys to actually be happy for other people, and that's going to actually generate what people are looking for.
But it's internal.
Mm, okay.
So if you're genuinely happy for someone, you will feel that. Like you can't fake that because at the end of the day,
You
it's
can't.
you.
Yeah.
Because if you're jealous and nasty towards whatever great is happening to others,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna deal with that with yourself when you lay
Nine
down.
times
Like
out of
it's
10.
just you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whether you fake it or not outside, it's up to you. But I think that we really have to be grateful for the things we already have.
Mm.
And when I say like we already have, like the fact that you woke up
Yes.
and you
I
had
was
your cup of
talking about that. Yeah.
coffee, yes, you can see and you can speak and you're healthy and you can move around and you have a home.
Mm-hmm.
And I think every single day we just wake up and we want so much more. We want
Yeah.
this and this, and we are never actually present in all the things that we already have.
And what we already have. And I
Yeah.
was talking to my friend the other day, actually earlier today. She used to get frustrated when I'd be like, "Hey, look at other people sometimes on the things they don't have." So her rebuttal used to be, well, why do I always have to equate my struggle to other people? And I told her that, hey, you got to understand, you was there at one point,
Mhm.
right? You making more money now, you're really successful now. Sometimes you have to just balance it that way to understand where you could have been versus taking your issues, well, why is my coffee not hot? Like, and having a whole breakdown the entire day over that when people don't even have food to eat. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So you gotta, have that perspective and different lens that you have.
Yeah.
So, Sunny, I super, super appreciate you pulling up and just taking the time to talk to the audience about just having a proper mindset and just being more focused on the prize, right? Having a good attitude, feeling good, and putting out
Mhm.
positive energy towards others because they'll definitely get you far. Sunny, any last words for our listeners?
Um, Listen, y'all, just live every day like it's your last.
See,
I know
it's
we
the
say
smile.
that.
It's the
No, it's
smile. Y'all gotta get on YouTube and make sure y'all see this woman smile because that's it. She don't even gotta say nothing half the time. It's gonna be that energy. But no, we
no,
appreciate.
I do want to say that we
Okay,
say that
okay,
a
go
lot.
ahead.
We say
Yeah.
that a lot, but we don't actually mean it.
Okay, okay.
Just appreciate every day.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. This has been another episode of the JefeTalk podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe. We're on all platforms, Apple, Spotify, you name it. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys next week.